All right, guys, it is Sunday morning and I'm gathering up all my stuff because we're heading over to my buddy Tino's house to film his extensive high-end folding knife collection. And then I'm going to hang out there for the day. So let's get in the car, start heading that way. So we're at my buddy Tino's house. He just lives just a couple exits down the road from me, but Tino is an avid knife collector. And so we've talked about this for a while. We're going to take a quick look at his high-end folding knife collection because he's got a lot of really knives, he's got a lot of really nice knives, especially these three that were made by someone you guys might know. But what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of take a look at it shelf by shelf. And Matt's going to give us kind of an insight on what the knives are and which ones in that area on each shelf are like the most important and kind of like why, like a little backstory. Because everybody knows we collect knives, not just because we like knives, because a lot of times there's a little bit of a story behind them. So we're going to go ahead and set up and we're going to get started as soon as we figure out how we're going to manipulate in this small area around lights and tripods. So these ones aren't in the case, but what do we got here? Because I know these are all Ferrum Forges.
Yeah, so these are all of the, well, not all of the, but there is one more. But these are left-handed Maker's Choice.
And so for folks that don't know what a Maker's Choice is, Elliot Williamson at Ferrum Forge would open up slots, typically like 10 to 20 per run, and he would just carve it however he wanted. It was his choice, and then you got what you got. So
now, that is true. When they did the runs, there would be a handful that were Maker's Choice. So this one, which they dubbed the Yellow Brick Road to Doom, that was from one of those runs, and the Chavez Velaz was from one of those runs. This is the Stinger XL. This was the first knife I commissioned directly from Elliot after I went to the forge. That was the first lefty knife that I really ordered that was good.
But you didn't have, like, you didn't have input on what he did with that knife, right?
No. I just wanted a lefty Maker's Choice. But it was after the fact. So yeah, there were 12 or whatever in the main run, but this was separate from that. Same with this. There were Maker's Choice spinners, but then I came to the forge, he had the parts, and I ordered that. Now, I did have input on that one, which Mike will hold over my head to the day I die, which is the blade was already somewhat Tonto, so I wanted him to grind it Tonto.
It's an actual Tonto now, which is why he took one of the best knives they've ever made and made it stupid. But basically, so that's what he would do. So let's go ahead and...
No. The last and most important one.
No, we can ignore that.
No, we can't ignore this because this one bothers you the most. This is the Septac. This is an intact handle and a scepter blade.
So you took what ostensibly was an almost perfect compact folding knife and put the dumbest blade possible in it.
Yes. But a few of us, our core group at the time, we did those, excluding Mike, because Mike wanted no part of that.
Mike's not an
four or five of us.
I'm not an artard.
4 or 5 of us did that, and when we got Septacs.
And then wanted me to sharpen them, and it made me sick every time I did. So now we're going to move over to the main. You know what? Before we go, this is a J-Ball Customs. J-Ball still J-Ball knives, some of the best knives you're ever going to get. This was on the channel once. We weren't going to do any fixed blade stuff, but this thing is just incredible. It's locked. It's locked in there. We're just trying to get rid of the reflection is what we're trying to do. Well, you're about as fast as that as anytime anybody that ever handcuffed me were trying to get me out of cuffs. This is just a beautiful knife.
I am being very careful.
Well, it's very sharp.
Yeah.
We don't want it to fall.
No.
But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. So there you go. J-Ball Customs. All right, now we're going to go get into the actual case. Did you just say throwing fold? Like, no one should throw fold.
Yeah, in the movies, they're like, wow, and they underhand it and...
Okay, let's talk about not dumb audio issues. And it wasn't an issue.
It's not an issue. It's just I'm just loud.
Matt's louder than me, which is unbelievable.
Or, yeah, maybe I'm not loud, Mike's quiet. One of the two.
I just learned how to talk with a microphone on.
I'm loud. My wife tells me all the time.
So these are all Ferrum Forge knife works of some sorts. You got productions and things like that. Some of them are maker's choice. But tell us about the ones in here that are, just give us a run through and tell us, like, pick out a couple that are special. So what do you got in here?
Writing maker's choice.
Okay, what knives are those?
Mordax 2.0.
So that's a production.
Archie 2.0. Fortis 2.0.
Okay. Now, then what's this one?
This is the deity, and this is an SP.
An SP.
So that's before Maker's Choice. They did a few specials. That was the first Ferrum Forge that I ever got. I tracked that one down for like 4 or 5 years. And then my wife helped me get it from Andy at Nowpack.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's the one you got from Andy.
So then,
remember when you got that one.
Yeah, so then once I got that, then I felt comfortable to go to one of those Ferrum Forge meetups because I'd actually have a Ferrum Forge knife. And then everything else happened after because of that one.
And then you got that was the first run part, like mid-tech style that Elliot did. Like he did that all in-house, but it was...
Ferox was 2015.
Yeah, those were built in-house, but also on his Tormac mill, right?
Yes. Nico gave me this one as a wedding present. And then my parents gave me this one for my 35th birthday. They worked with Elliot to... Or 30th birthday? Maybe my 30th birthday.
It may have been my 30th birthday. I remember I was there when you got that.
Yeah, it was my 30th birthday. Yeah. So they worked with Elliot to do that. And then Master Blaster, that was just from the production.
A standard. That's just a, like, so you guys can know, these were just standard patterns.
Yeah, this was the second one I got. I went in with this one, I ordered that one, and then I bought this one while I was waiting.
So what's the next one? Because I got rid of...
This is the Mako.
Yeah.
This was a Gavco collaboration. This is the first one that ever got me interested in Ferrum Forge. My buddy Jeff had one of the T-handle...
Blocking the light.
Yeah, one. Tripping over the light too. My buddy Jeff had a T-handle version of it. And that was the first thing I ever saw that was Ferrum Forge.
And then a Fortis, which is that the Fortis A or B?
That is the B.
I have the same one. So Fortis B, and then another Ferox. So you have 3 Ferox.
Yeah, that one's on eBay right now. I'm trying to get rid of that one. I need to make some space.
This one
is cool.
Very, very unique. So
the Trade Decim.
The Trade Decim. And the reason that it's so unique is it's when they really started to get into doing... You can pick out when Chris and Elliot taught themselves a new color.
Yeah. Yep, there you go.
You can pick it out because like all of their knives had that color. So like
you can go through the time period.
You can go through the time period. So when you see the one over here that has the copper and everything on it, well, that was when they first got the orange coating.
Right.
So they were like, oh, a new color. So go ahead and start. Look, I don't know if we need this light. Go ahead, let's see. Do we even need it? Because I think everything looked fine even with you. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, we can move it over too.
We can move it over this way.
Aluris.
Yeah, you guys have seen.
Which is a sibling of the deity. So there was the deity, then they did the demigod.
And then they did the Aluris. Which they are all very similar.
Yeah, very, very similar.
And then your button lock Stinger. But yours is in copper?
It is the red and black carbon fiber.
So that color's not showing up. There we go. Now you can see
Fire and brimstone, I believe is what they call it.
It's kind of a subtle red.
Yeah, it is heavy on the CF, light on the red, for sure, in this version. Other models, obviously, or other cuts of that have more red, for sure. This is the knife I carried for my wedding. I believe there were 5 that he had with the Timascus inlay. And then he did my initials on the back when he had a laser for a brief period of time.
Hang on a second. So I recognize that you did not screw up an end tack.
No.
Have a scepter blade put in that one.
No, that one came into the shop for Spa, and I liked it. And then...
Was that Bill's?
It was Bill's.
So our friend Bill was one of the main reasons that the boys ever did left-handed knives.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. So then you've got...
SM100 Stinger.
So SM100, this is a unique one, and I know this is going to be kind of a longer video, but SM100, I've talked to you guys about this before. There's no iron in this. It's non-ferrous. It is titanium and nickel in an alloy. And as you can see, you can actually anodize it. And I don't know why my autofocus is not working. So...
And then a little stinger.
Little stinger. But then, so these are all the production knives, so we can blow through those.
These are going to be all production, but all of the ano or ceramic or anything on those is stuff that I did going over to the forge with them. So
yeah, it was either done by you or most of the things in here that have been done that weren't done by Chris and Elliot were done by me and you.
This is one that you helped me with. This is you orange peeled the scales on this one for me, and then we did these black.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice looking one. But yeah, that's all the production ones.
Those are all the production ones. And then this is actually one of my favorite things.
I know, and I didn't get a chance to get one of these.
This, again, was sitting on Elliot's bench for years, and then I finally just made an offer to him on it.
So this is dragon scale Damascus, and this was... What this was different balls of different types of steel ball bearings that were thrown in and then in a nickel medium, and then the boys blued it, like gun blued it, and gave it a really, really cool look. And then that Wasteland Oddities,
the only thing Wasteland Oddities that I own. Big fan of them, but I've never been able to find anything.
I think they kind of fell off the face of the earth. I haven't seen anything from them. I haven't heard anything from them for a long time.
This was 2019 when I got this from Elliot. It had been sitting on his bench for a long time at that point. So yeah, years prior,
it literally sat on his workbench for two years minimum.
Oh yeah, I looked at it for 2 years minimum, and then I was finally like, hey man, like, can I buy that from you? So that's one of my favorite pieces from Ferrum Forge. And then this, the Deity SP is one of my most sentimental.
It's and what we were saying is because what SP was Elliot, before he started calling them Maker's Choice, he basically would do a couple knives his way, whatever he felt like, and he marked them as specials. So that's pretty cool. We're going to move down to the next shelf here in a minute. Down to the next level on this. And he's got some really kind of special knives in here, but this is kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of stuff. So
yeah, this is great.
Just give us a quick walkthrough. Like, I know you got a couple. You got that cope up there that's really special, and then you've got the...
Well, so this is the carry level. This is what makes it in and out of my pockets on any given day. This we'll call it the primary carry level. This is the higher end stuff. The very bottom shelf is also stuff that I'll carry because I don't care if it gets beat up. But this level is where I live. Copes at the top. This top one is definitely the most expensive knife in my collection.
That's the full custom.
That's the full custom.
I don't know, Maker's Choice for about $1,000.
Yeah, but if I was going to sell that cope right now, they're like 18 to 2.
Yeah, that's true. He quit making knives, by the way, guys. That's why it's kind of special. And then what do we got? We got a Microtech.
Well, it's also special because you're the one who won that raffle at his table.
Yeah.
I put in on a knife for you, and you put in on the knife for me, and sure enough, you hit. Well, and not only did you hit, but you hit first choice. And so we crushed everybody else's dreams at the table who was looking at that.
I have a tendency of doing that at knife shows. You guys haven't ever heard that story.
I wanted this one.
Talk about it. Yeah.
And we got our choice, and everybody was drooling over that one. So we're like, yes.
Well, it's ladder Damascus.
Beautiful.
And it is a gorgeous
So we got that. And then the next day, I went back to the show, and he was sitting at the table, and he had that one still left that nobody had bought. So I bought that one. I didn't even have to do a lotto or anything.
Yeah.
So I got what I wanted, and I got a really cool one at the top. And the top one I only carry on Thanksgiving and or maybe Christmas. But one of the two holidays once a year. That's the only time that knife gets carried.
Knife guys are weird. I don't know if you know that.
All the other ones I carry all the time. This is my American Ultimatum.
Yeah.
He is one of my favorite makers, and I would love to get a full custom one day. We did not win that lotto.
No, we did not. We tried.
I agreed to put in on that lotto for Mike, and neither of us won that one. But at the time, and that was a couple years ago now, he had showed us that prototype from Riyadh.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I can't wait. A couple years went by. I think COVID had some bullshit to do with that, and finally...
Well, there was problems with delays from Riyadh because of multiple things. This is a really special one. You guys just saw this one on my channel. This is that disc in. Hang on, you're out of shot here.
I was just going to close it for a second. We can bring it back in wherever you want.
No, that's cool.
But... yeah, one of my favorites, manual or auto. Yeah.
And then you've got a Sharp by Design.
Yep, this one's probably another really, really special one to me. This knife, Nico, the Hobbit, gave to me to use as the umbilical knife when My son was born, but then my wife ended up having a C-section. Oh no, this
He skipped. I know he skipped this one. This is the
what
one.
is this?
This one is a really nice knife.
It is beautiful.
This is one of Brian's knives over at Sharp. Wow, look at that edge. I wonder who did that.
Some asshole.
Some asshole. Then you have an Olamic.
No. We can't gloss over this. This is the important one. Sentimental value. This is the one Nico gave me so that I could cut the umbilical cord, but then we ended up doing a C-section, so we didn't use this. So this will be Roman's second knife.
I don't know what happened, but everything went blue.
I noticed that.
Refilm, but we're just going to talk about this. I don't know what's happening. I have white balance lock, but when I zoomed in, it changed the color. So yeah, so this was just basically this is a CJRB button lock. Oh, that's the one I gave to Roman.
Yeah, so these are the other two important ones on this shelf to me. These are going to be Roman's knives. This will be his first one from Mike, and this will be his second one from Nico. Both CJRBs, both blue, which seems to be his favorite color right now. And every time he comes in here, he points at the big Predator knife on the wall, but then he wants to come over and look at his blue knives.
That one. That's the one he's speaking of. Which, we'll talk about the whole movie knife thing in a future video. Like I said, we're going to go through that whole collection. So what else you got in here that's really cool? There's a lot of cool stuff on this shelf.
Laconico Vagnino collab Lancer. That one's a big boy.
You guys have seen that on the channel. I had that on for a video.
Shiro F95T. Help me with this artisan. It's the Saurus? Something like that. Saurus, I think.
No, I can't remember it. It's by Cerberus. Cerberus Designs. I can't think of the name of it.
Chavez 228.
And I have the 229 that you guys have seen. That was a gift from Matt.
We Wasabi. This is just
yes, we do. My wife's Japanese. I absolutely do wasabi.
I like this because it's just so clean.
Yeah,
the finish on it is just really nice and uniform.
I did not like it.
I like it.
That's you and I have a tendency.
Yeah, we tend
to differ on things. We both like this one.
CJRB Frack.
Frack.
I always want to say frag because I have the frag handle.
It's the frack in frag.
Yeah, frack and frag. PMP Big Boy.
Yep. Wonder where that came from.
That was a gift from our lovely Michael. Hoback.
We can skip that one. You just don't even pay attention to that one.
You have
I hate
2015.
him. I hate him.
It's on eBay.
It's disgusting. If you guys want to buy that knife, you can buy it.
Yeah, that's on eBay. This full custom lefty Magnum Works is on there. I don't carry that.
Yeah, I know why. It's bad. It's bad.
Don't buy that one. Don't I like you guys. That's for other people.
I like you guys.
This is cool. This is the Kunwu Django. This has been my favorite new knife as of recent.
That's the one that you have because you saw the one that I had at my house in for review.
And I love knurling so much. That is my favorite handle texture for sure. It satisfies my autism.
What else we got in here? We got a...
Top right. ZT Rexford.
Okay. I had the actual Rexford, that exact knife. I had that Rexford that I won at a contest.
Yeah, I remember.
That's the one that I bought. I paid $2,000 for it and turned around and sold for $12 that night.
This is just down here. It's a Ferrum Forge design through Wii.
Yeah.
The Minax.
Yeah.
This is a Todd Big Steelcraft Quaken. I got this at USN from Todd. It's the first time I got to meet him. That was really cool.
Todd or Mark?
Todd.
Okay.
I got that direct from Todd. It was the last one on the table, and it was cool. You know, back in the day. I think that was in like 2010. So it was cool to get to meet him and shake his hand and all that.
Yeah.
Another CJRB, I won this at the knife meetup over with The Hobbit at the brewery. When we do that again, everybody should definitely come. That's a whole lot of fun. Civivi, Snex, Vision.
That's the Vision Field Guard FG. Now this next one's really cool, and I want to get a view of that. The one right below it.
And that one right below it has a little brother.
Knocking stuff. You got
it's just the hummingbird. I have more knives than I have room for. His little brother doesn't have the Damascus blade, but it still has that cool gold flake carbon fiber shred handle.
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom in on that and not get
trying to get it to glisten so you can see all the different.
It's what it would look like if you lived in a coal mine or a gold mine.
And then I'll get that other one down.
Yeah, and so this one, you've seen both of those on the channel, but they're just really, really cool looking knives. I love that. That is such a good looking knife.
And for $100?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For $100, like it's not like the best of the stainless steel Damascus. It's not like a core, Dama core, but still really good looking, and especially for that price.
It's a fun knife to take out if you're going somewhere classy.
Yeah.
It's a fun New Year's knife. I like it. I like it on New Year's. Champagne and
knife.
fancy clothes. Demcos. This one is in 3V. This one is in OS. What is it? OS 10A.
That was the one that we had a problem with the OS 10, where it didn't want to take an edge.
Yeah, and
then he has an Exo gravity knife that absolutely has been refinished and changed.
I have another Exo somewhere. That's the Tonto.
Nah, I mean, they've seen it a bunch.
No, but like it just occurs to me. Oh, it's right here. I was like, it occurs to me that it's not there.
Yeah, Exo gravity knife. That's one of my favorite, just fun knives. It's the best. It's the best gravity knife ever. But this one has been.
Yeah, that one has the Anno Storm finish.
So it's had the micarta dyed.
That's right, dyed blue.
And then all of that really cool
anode blue.
Because these are all titanium. There's 100% titanium on these handles. This one's actually smoother.
Yeah.
The cool thing
that came from JD Cutlery. He does that. He gets a lot of knives, factory knives. He does really crazy anodes, really wild color combos too. Sometimes it reminds me of when we first started doing knives, and they'd have like the crazy green and purple shit like all mixed together.
Yeah, we were trying to see what kind of crazy colors we could do.
Yeah, just working things out. Yeah, it's interesting. But I think the last, there's a little Chavez box cutter in the back. We've got our other dual actions here. So we've got the Diskin Vulcan.
Which is not a bad knife. Also, it's just nowhere near as nice as the one I have or the other one you have.
This is a full production knife.
Yeah.
There is nothing mid-tech or handmade about that at all. Whereas that is definitely got Matt's touch all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Little hummingbird, but we all know what that is.
Yeah, you guys have seen a bunch of those. And what else is there?
And then the last one
This is kind of a rare one, but this one is for sale, right?
Yeah, this one's up on eBay as well right now on my page.
I'll try to put links. If he sends me links, I'll put links to him.
Yeah, I'm going to add some other stuff too. And as always, if there's ever anything you see, just talk to me. Everything comes and goes.
But this is a rare one. This is a dual action auto.
The buttons underneath this like rubber Kraton scale, and also an auto.
And that's a Harsey design done by
Lone Wolf Knives.
Lone Wolf Knives, and it is the D2. D2, but it's not in D2 steel.
S30V.
It's an S30V.
Yeah, so they have a T2, which is the same model, but it's fully manual, and it has wood scales.
Yeah.
And then they did the D2 that was supposed to be more tactical, so you get the Kraton grips that are like fiberglass impregnated, and you get S30V, and it's D2 because it's dual auto, dual action D2, as opposed to the T2.
Yeah. So we're gonna stop so that we can readjust the camera to get to the bottom shelf.
We're gonna go. Yeah.
The next one's fun because this is all. The next shelf is like your fun stuff.
The next shelf is the fun stuff that you can't carry.
Yeah. Most of it. Most of it is like butterfly knives and switchblades.
2/3 of it.
You just refer to me as an older gentleman as I'm trying to kneel down here so we can see this shelf. Is that what you did? When was the last time you got punched in the mouth by an older
And then your
gentleman?
camera basically went completely limp and flopped over, and you had to set it back up. So,
you guys might see an assault on camera, or at least hear it. Okay, so this next shelf is a bunch of fun stuff. Now, the top one, the top left one, you guys just saw. I literally just did a video about that.
Yeah, you know the LFK.
The LFK, it's a weird... He has some Benchmades, which, I mean, we shouldn't judge too harshly.
Well,
that's how a lot of us start out in our collecting, is we don't know a bad company from a good company. And some of us buy things. I just have managed to get rid of all of my Benchmades.
We'll talk more about that on the bottom shelf.
Yes.
Like, that's where that conversation really comes into play.
So let's go ahead and we can... there's some Benchmades
up here. There's a lot to talk about here on this shelf, because this shelf is an amalgamation of, we got the butterflies, we've got the autos, and then this is just overflow, because again, I just don't have enough room for shit. So
literally, they're like just sitting out.
So this is the 710. Growing up, when I was a kid, I had an uncle that always had a pocket knife, and he always had Benchmades. And the number one he carried all the time was the 710.
Which was it's one of the old school models.
Yeah, flagship for a long time. Just a great.
Too bad they re-released it at like $700 now.
And I handled the new one. It is nothing compared to the old one. Then I have this one, which is the Contigo. It has a little glass breaker on the end. It's pretty heavy duty. It's axis lock. It's like a bigger Osborne. And this is the knife that I carried when I was doing security guard work for stuff so that I could have something that I felt was reliable and wasn't over the top.
But if the Contigo is just not a comfortable knife, it's literally like holding on to.
All of these are very rough.
Yeah,
it would be great with gloves.
You guys, I did a video about this, and it's like the worst Benchmade ever. It really is. But in my opinion, I hate it.
Run.
Which means it's probably got more problems than your average Benchmade.
The LFK is a first production run. My 940 is a first production run. My Shori is a first production run.
Which that's a knife that just shouldn't exist.
The only thing that isn't a first production run was this, because I bought this a number of years later when I was an adult.
First production runs, guys, typically have got extra issues, and Benchmades have issues to begin with.
This was the first Benchmade I ever got. This was the first knife over $100 I ever bought, and I saved up for so many years to get that when I was a kid. We'll talk about it more on the bottom level, but when I got really good grades on my report card, I would get to go to the knife store at the mall and pick out a knife. And you'll see that's where the bottom shelf comes in. But eventually I saved up like parlay report card plus my Christmas money plus birthday into I went to the knife store and finally bought a Benchmade. And that was a big, big day for me.
Well, it was for a lot of us. Like Benchmade, I do have to admit, Benchmades used to be very good knives.
Yeah.
And then they decided to change their quality.
And while the Shori is hot trash, I will never get rid of it because that's one that my mom went into the knife store, found the guy and got the upcoming Benchmade catalog of stuff that wasn't released yet and pre-ordered one in person at the knife store, went and picked it up when it released and gave it to me for, you know, Christmas or my birthday or one of the holidays.
It's a good looking knife.
It's just such a great story.
The operation is, well, it's a good looking knife.
It is.
The operation and lock and everything's just trash.
It's got a similar like compression lock scenario. It's just that button is so small it digs into your finger.
Yeah, it's just not good.
And as a lefty, I can't do much.
It's really stiff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a lot of knives to get through, so
other ones that are cool are
the Oaks Works design.
The golfer knife.
It's really cool. It's got these little, you guys have seen this on the channel too.
Yeah.
If you're curious about those, I did a video about those.
We've got a stiletto here that Mike gave me from I believe this was a kit that you built.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the lock no longer works, so it's not safe to put in your pocket.
This lock.
Yeah, that lock that it keeps it from like the button from working, it no longer works.
Yeah, that no worky.
And so I was like, hey, Matt has a spot for that on his shelf.
Yep, it goes with these other ones. This one.
That one's cool because that one has the guard, right?
Which one is it?
One of them.
This one is my dad's. This was my dad's. He bought when he was 15, living on the East Coast. And then I found one for sale from one of my
Your dad's is the one that's cracked, right?
Yeah. My dad's is cracked all down there. So this one's in better condition. The spring works a little better. The spring's pretty worn on his. He sharpened the shit out of his. But again, this one is a family heirloom. And when I want to play with one, I'll play with this one.
But that one has the folding guard, right? That's how so when that one closes, so that is a very traditional style switchblade.
This is what you see in every movie.
It's the same knife. That is the same knife that you saw in the movie Chinatown that they stuck in Jack Nicholson's nose.
Yeah, and it's
the
also
exact same knife.
For you younger kids, maybe Dennis the Menace, the drifter who's going through town who stabbed the apple. He busts that out, sticks the apple, and then.
Are you talking about Dennis the Menace, the movie?
Yeah.
That came out after I had joined the military?
Christopher Lloyd is the bad guy.
Yeah.
This is...
Yeah. That's not that old of a movie. Like for you.
I said for the kids.
Oh, for the younger. Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay. I thought you were... Never mind. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Protect Shaw Skull prototype. So
you've seen that on the channel too. You were trying to sell this?
I would still sell this, but you can't sell autos on eBay, so it's not on my eBay. But Yeah, I mean, this is the prototype. So everybody knows this model now. But before this model was a thing, they did the prototype back in 2012, and I got this from Dave at the...
Is it California Custom Show?
It's not California Custom. It's the one that's in Pasadena now. It's the Cal Expo. Cal Knives Expo.
We were going to go to that one. And it was just, we were like, you know what? It doesn't make sense.
But so yeah, I got the prototype of that from Dave before it really became a thing.
You got a couple Pro-Techs, but talk about your Ballyes, because you got a lot of Ballyes.
Well, the Ballyes are where it's at. So those are the newer models. So that's a 62 and a 63.
So those are your Benchmades.
But I have Flytanium aftermarket handles on them instead of the steel handles that they came with when Benchmade decided they were going to re-release their Bally songs. Because the originals are down here. So here's a 43.
Are those the ones we had such a hard time getting those handles on at the Forge that time? I remember there was a butterfly knife, one of your Ballyes that we had a hard time.
The BRS.
Okay.
The replicant.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so 4363. Full titanium handles. This is the black edition, so it's got this black coating on it. When they re-released it, they made steel handles, which suck. So Flytanium did a whole bunch of different versions. I don't remember what version these are, but you know, like different milling and different hole patterns.
Yeah. So you got a lot of Benchmates, but you have the only butterfly knife I've ever had on my channel that I said was like absolutely something I would buy, and it's absolutely not the one you're picking up.
I know, but this one's falling over, so I need to readjust this.
I have never been a real big fan of Balisongs. This one, however,
the Hom Spectre Elite.
The Spectre Elite. This is absolutely just a gorgeous butterfly. I mean, it's just a gorgeous knife all around. But what really makes this stand out for me is look at the blade shape. Like, bring it in a little closer. Look at that blade shape. Matt, you remember the old original movie Dune with Steng playing the bad guy and all? It looks like one of the knives from that movie. That blade shape and everything looks like the knives that they used in that movie. And that's what stood out to me. And it's just, on top of that, let me see it. It is, guys, it is just beautiful. So it's like a blue.
It says black PVD, but that looks like a midnight blue.
It's a midnight blue. All of this has had that titanium nitride gold coating. Here, you can take it back before I drop it. So, and then you got a couple trainers. But you do have, oh yeah, there's that. That's not, you know what, I don't.
This was another one from my childhood that was just always, I was always on the quest to, I can't see.
You don't need to see. I got it.
I was always on the quest to find one of these. And I finally did years later.
So that was, we had that on the channel because that's kind of a rare one.
Yeah.
They only made that knife for a couple of years, and it was was it a government contract?
Masters of Defense was the knife company. I know they went defunct. I don't know if they were a government contract or not. But it's like Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf knives got bought out by Benchmade, and then Benchmade just shelved the brand name. Masters of Defense was around. It's like the Harkins.
Yeah.
They did a whole bunch of other Harkins stuff, and then they kind of just dropped off the face of the map. So I could buy what you're saying.
There's a lot of those things that happen. So then on this bottom shelf down, oh yeah, then there's this. This is, guys, you've heard me say it when I had, this is the, like a lot of times they call that a gravity knife. I really don't say it's a gravity knife. It's kind of a unique folder, but what I've got to say is, having had that exact knife at my house for a while, that is the only knife that I will say I think is dangerous.
I agree.
That, like, the exogravity knife, everybody looked at that and said, oh, that's going to be dangerous. Probably one of the safer knives you're ever going to handle, because it's almost impossible to cut yourself with the exogravity knife. You would have to be incredibly dumb.
I play with the trainer all the time.
This is dangerous.
Never touch that. I will play with my butterfly knives all the time, and I will do all that stupid shit that the butterfly knife guys do. But I will not. I don't play with that.
You watched me cut myself with that one.
I have almost cut myself numerous times, and there have been at least a dozen times where I've been playing with the trainer, and had it been the live blade, it would have gone directly through my hand.
Yeah. Now, there is something on this bottom shelf I want to hit first, and it is the most repulsive, disgusting aberration, even Like Spydercos are ugly, but this item that he's about to show you, I think, is the most disgusting Spyderco I've ever seen. This is the Spyderco Spidey card. And if Down syndrome was a knife, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to edit that and all the times that you've cursed, but yeah, it's bad. Like
It fits.
It's retarded.
It fits in your wallet. You can take it everywhere. It's great.
Guess what?
What?
I carry a knife with me everywhere anyway, whether it's in my wallet or not. And that's still going to set off a metal detector. It gets you nowhere. At any rate, you can put that.
I get in everywhere with it because I walk through with my wallet in my hands and my phone in my phone with my wallet. And when it all goes off, they're like, "Oh yeah, the phone's right there. It makes sense."
Stop trying to justify it. It's not happening.
It's
Put it away.
It's worked every time.
Put it away. So you got a lot of Spydercos. Like I said,
Yeah, well,
over the years, I have changed my opinion on Spyderco. I think they're starting to bring back the level of quality that they used to. I mean, and their price point is nowhere near as stupid as Benchmade. So what do you got down here? Lots of cool stuff down here. I see.
Well, this is the shelf
Like
with all
this-
stories.
Well, this side over here to the right is all basically garbage, but has a story. And the stuff here on the left is actually, they're not too bad at knives and probably have a story as well.
That's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. This is the side where
This is all your kid stuff.
this is my report card knives. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get the straight A's. You go find yourself a $30 CRKT at the knife store.
So bad. See, I was joking about CRKT like getting worse, and I was like, no, you know what? I just don't think they've ever been good.
This is my favorite CRKT. The Crawford Falcon. I have used the shit out of this knife. I have sharpened this knife a bunch of times. I beat the shit out of this knife. It's got this extra little lock at the top.
You are going to make my life miserable with editing.
Yeah. So this is
A lot of
my
beeps in this.
this is my favorite CRKT. It's probably the only one that I would recommend.
I do have to say that my first flipper knife and what got me into flipper knives was a CRKT. It was the, oh yeah, there you go.
Kershaw Seagal with the Stingray.
Yeah. And you know, like I said, like Steven Seagal, he's got a car with Stingray material for like the seat covers, and it's gonna smell like French fries and broken dreams.
These are just all the knives that Mike hates. Laser cut serrations on the police positives.
HIV positive, maybe. Anyway.
The good old Colt Python.
Oh God, it's bad. It's so bad.
Might as well be a slip joint.
It's a two-hand opener.
Yeah.
When I see you have the Tangram, I know I did the ceramic on that Tangram for you.
This is one that you just can't find anymore.
They quit making them. Gunsight. So you guys don't know, Cold Steel had a license with the Gunsight Training Center, and they authorized them to put the Gunsight name on their brand. And there was a couple models of that. And so basically what it was the handles were a little bit different, and then they just put the Gunsight logo on. But basically what you have is a Voyager with a different handle. Like they were the same knife.
A Voyager with a slightly different handle, and then they have the Gunsight 2, which is a larger version of this.
And I can't remember if they had a drop point, but I do know that the Gunsight folders were very, very popular.
This is my buddy Jeff's favorite old knife that I have, and it's the #1 thing that he wants of mine. And I have looked for one for the better part of 10 years. You can find the Gunsight 2, the larger one, but it's too big.
It is. It's too big.
Too big. This is the perfect one, and I just have never been able to find another one.
So
I'm very fortunate that I never lost this knife over the years, because I did lose a Spyderco Wayne Goddard, which I'm really upset about to this day.
The thing that was so popular about him was this grip pattern, because it's not super, super aggressive, but it is very, very good in hand if you've got wet hands. And it was just alternating triangles. And so, yeah, this was a really good knife here. I only have one hand. You might want to be careful. Put that away.
You're fine.
But then, So yeah, there you go. We don't have to talk about any of those because they're all.
Then we went through a phase where I was working through weird locking mechanisms and opening mechanisms, trying to be like, well, I collect it, so I want
and you guys
different, and I don't have it, so I'm going to buy it.
And you guys saw all of these knives on my channel at one point. These weird ones, but the one that you're getting ready to put away right now, the not that one, the next one, show them that one because this one was really interesting. What is that? A Tecto?
This is a Tekna.
Tekna.
I need to oil it.
So the blade stays in one place, but then
So it's a fixed blade, so it's not an auto because the blade doesn't move.
Yeah, hang on a second. Do it again. I remember seeing those in magazines.
I bought this at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, I remember seeing those. And I'm like, that's
$80 at Knott's Berry Farm.
Well, they ramped the price way up on those. But this one's unique.
This is the Boker-matic.
And I remember, this is why this one's so like special to me, because I remember these when I was growing up.
You slide that over, and you slide that up, and then you lock it back in place. So it's a manual out.
And then
you do the same motion.
And it's an auto retracting.
Yeah.
I remember seeing these in the backs of catalogs and magazines. So if you guys remember, the Boker-matics were, I think I said that when I did the video. You and I talked about it. Like we saw these in magazines, like gun magazines
definitely.
and stuff. And that's what really made me want one. But that is one, like from my childhood, that I can think of that even me, and I'm significantly older than you. You're what, 32?
No, I'm 36.
36?
No, I'm 37. Wait,
I'm 50.
I was born in 88. I don't know how old I am.
I'm 50, so... but this was one of the ones that was like, we both remember seeing these in magazines, so...
This was my... I want an auto, but I can't find an auto because I'm buying knives at the store at the mall. So this is the closest I could get to an auto as a kid.
Yeah, right?
Without, you know...
And it's still a really cool... I remember seeing those, and they were in the same area of magazines as the kits that you see up here that I gave Matt one of.
Yeah.
They were in the same area of every gun magazine.
Oh, yeah.
They were in the back area, and then you could order the kits.
And then, you know, just the rest of the overflow. So growing up, it was Kershaw, CRKT, Colt, SOG.
SOG is still
yeah, great.
No, SOG now, no, but SOG used to actually make some decent knives. The military used to get them.
Spyderco, Gerber, Camillus.
Okay, so that Camillus lever lock right there. This was one I remember seeing, and Matt has one, and you guys saw it in a video. There's kind of two of them. These were both unique. The lever lock on that is really, really... You push down on it, so it's kind of got the feel of an auto, but then it's got the backlight. It's definitely a unique system. And then the other one is
I got this when I was 10 years old at the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that one's got a story with it.
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Where I bought my first butterfly knife too, a Bear & Sons.
Is that the one that your dad, like you hid from your dad? You bought it there and you hid it from him and he didn't know about it?
No, that was cool. You're thinking of when I pitted my parents against each other to get an airsoft gun.
Oh, okay.
I told my mom, my dad said it was okay, and then I told my dad, my mom said it was okay, and then when I came home with it, they were both like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Like I thought you didn't say it was okay, and then I had to go return it to the Army Navy store and like show face like, I lied to you, I lied to my mom, I have to return this, I'm not allowed to have it. And the guy was like, he was nice about it, but you could tell he was.
So what, this was the CUDA?
So this is a CUDA. This is a Trezola design. It's an ATCF. This is the smaller one.
Yeah.
There was a bigger one, a full-size one, you'll say. But again, I was collecting knives when I was 7 to, you know,
yeah, but we
15.
didn't, like, you didn't know that you were getting a Trezola.
I had no idea who he was at the time.
Right? At that time, none of us did.
And this one's a first production run, too. I have a lot of first production runs from when I was a kid.
Sorry about that, guys. I hit the wrong button. I was trying to zoom back out, and I hit the button. Yeah, we're getting old, aren't we?
Yeah, we're getting old.
But yeah, I mean, the Spyderco stuff, like, you don't have, like, anything... Like, the stuff that's down here is pretty mundane.
This is also like an overflow area too.
Yeah.
I carry these CJRBs. I love CJRB is probably my favorite newer brand.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Artisan CJRB, we Civivi. Like that's where my boat lands for folders a lot of the time now.
And most of those were either purchased and given, well, either came from, sorry guys, I did it again. Most of these CGRBs either came from me or someone asked me, hey, what do you think I should get for Matt for like birthday or Christmas? And I'm like, what? And I'll be like, okay, so the original or the
artisan one from Ben.
Yeah, the traditional.
I carry this when I go camping.
That's a really nice one.
It's beefy. It's smooth.
Yeah, Ben asked me, is like, if there was a knife that I would get for Matt, and I was like, I know exactly what one he wants. He wants that traditional.
This one I take camping too.
Yeah.
Last time I went camping, a guy used this to cut some stuff off of his car that had broken. So I just happened to be in the right place at the right time with a pocket knife. And
that's one of the better button locks out there.
And that did the job. Yeah, he ended up asking me about that. Where'd you get that? What kind of knife is that? So maybe he went and bought one. This one I got at the show from Nico. I liked it because the serial number and the thing is double printed, so it gives you like beer goggles.
Yeah, I remember that now. You're like, no, that's the one I want.
Yeah, he's like, I can get you a new one. I'm like, no, I want that one.
I want the weird one. I see...
The Echo, I lost this in the couch for 2 months. Kept looking for it. Looked in the couch 3 or 4 times. I knew I was never going to find it until I ordered another one. Ordered it. It showed up at 1 p.m. That same day at 3 p.m., I found it in the couch. So I remember that. I gave the other one to my buddy Jeff.
You kept calling me like, are you sure I didn't leave it on the workbench at your house?
Come on, man, where is it? Rosecraft. This is my only Rosecraft, but I will definitely get more of them.
That's really the one you won at the. So my little buddy Nico and I put on a knife show at one point up in Palm Springs area. That's you. Did you buy that or did you win that one?
This was just a gift from Swags for helping set up and take down.
Oh yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, but you guys saw that on the channel. That's a really nice one. It's one of the only Rosecraft flippers.
The Damascus one up there was the one that I won in the raffle.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, this was just the thank you for helping set up, which I thought was really nice. I wasn't expecting anything, and that
Savannah's sweet. Yeah, I love her. I love her to death. People are critical.
And I promoted the hell out of that thing too because I love that. Spyderco's.
Now you have on the far left.
The Chameleon.
Yep. I had the smaller version of this.
And so this is the medium version, and then there's a bigger version.
Yeah, I had the small. Remember, I used to have it.
Yep.
And I wound up breaking it and throwing it away.
And being able to, I'm doing this right-handed now, so I don't have the dexterity that I do on my left hand. But like, yeah, as a kid, I was just always walking around the house, spinning this, and my mom was always worried that I was gonna like.
Your mom worries about everything. I love her to death, but she does worry about it.
I mean, she has a lot to worry about in her defense.
Like, yeah, because you were a problematic child. Is that what you're saying?
This is my gun bag knife. Pry out anything or do anything. These were this is a cool one. So these are Big 5 knife.
Yeah.
This is HK. Made by Benchmade.
Yeah, and
the warranty on it, if anything happens to it, you send this back to Benchmade. Yeah. And so these were like $40.
Yeah.
But Big 5 had them on sale at a clearance at one point for like 15. So I bought a dozen of them.
Which just shows that, yes, Benchmade can make an affordable knife. They just decide that their brand is, because I've handled this. This is not a bad knife. It is like not that much different in quality from a Benchmade. It's spring assisted.
Everybody that I've given it to, it's their gun bag knife.
Yeah.
Josh did break the tip off of his, but he does a whole, he's the Army guy. He does more to his knives than I do.
Yeah.
But he just ground it back, and it's great.
That's the screwed up thing about Benchmade. They make knives for other companies, and the quality is not that much different. Really, maybe that's heavier. But the
steel liners are a little heavy.
Yeah, but like they basically are just ripping people off. So,
and I think the last like really cool thing on this level would be like the paratrooper.
Oh, we dropped. There we go.
Oh, there he goes again.
It's really hard to do this in the position.
I can't keep it up. It's okay.
It's going to
the Smith & Wesson Power Glide.
And you guys saw this on my channel. I had this on the channel.
This is, well, for the longest time,
kind of ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but for the longest time, this was like a point of pride for me.
It's because a paratrooper's knife. Yeah.
I had a paratrooper's knife, like the $10 ones you get at Army Navy.
Yeah.
We all know those. I can find it somewhere. But this one was like Smith & Wesson's, and we ordered it, and it showed up, and it says, first production run 1 of 5,000. and I was floored. My whole life until my 20s, when I was like 28, I finally saw somebody else post one of these online on Instagram, and guess what theirs says? One of 5,000.
They were all marked
This
1 of
was
5,000.
my first experience, where companies do this. Oh, 1 of 5,000. They all say 1 of 5,000.
As opposed to like some of the other knives where we've gotten them that like I have number one of 60.
20 years I thought I had the first one, and no such luck. So that was a bit of a letdown in my adulthood here, but it's still a fun knife.
Well, so this has been fun, and like I said, it's going to be a longer video, but there's just, for us to get in depth on all this, we may do that some other time and just break it up and just have Matt List tell us about every knife.
It would be helpful if you comment and tell us what specifically you'd like us to go into.
If you want us to get into specific knives, let us know which ones you're interested in, because Matt can tell you the story behind his purchase of every knife. And then we've got a bunch of knives that we're going to talk about in future videos, because he's setting things up in a fashion where he's going to have displays in here. We're going to have movie knives.
Yeah.
And fantasy knives. See right there. Movie knife. This is hard to do from where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, it's going to be...
And we're old, so like getting up off the floor hurts.
The me part of we is old. I don't know about you. But like he's building... Like up here you can see the Mark II collection. These are going to be something that he's going to have historical combat knives, and we're not going to get into them now. You guys know that he's the person that sent me the info on the Mark II, sent me the photos of the original Vietnam era ones, and I had his reissue that came out that he did. But yeah, this one right here. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot, because there's a lot of interesting stuff, like the movie knives, like the Cobra knife and stuff like that. So there's a lot. So
and then there's hot trash.
You guys have already seen. I have.
While we're on stories, this one I got when I was in 10th grade. On the summer of 10th grade, we went on a road trip to Yellowstone, and at the ranger station supply house there, they had this knife in the case for $12.99. $12.99. And I had some camping money and trip money that I was gonna spend, and I wanted to spend 15 of my dollars on this knife. And my dad said, "You're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. That knife is $129. It is not $12.99. I said, no, it's $12.99. I looked at the price tag. I held it. It's $12.99. And he said, if that knife is $12.99, I will go buy it for you myself. You don't even have to use your money. We went right to that store, and guess what? It was $12.99. And this was my new knife for the trip.
It's worth $12.99.
It is worth $1.99.
Yeah, they're not.
It is not worth $12.99.
You guys saw the one I have at my house.
But what it is winning a bet against my dad.
Yeah.
Who I never won an argument.
Doesn't happen.
I never won a fight because he's a lawyer and a Green Beret.
I was going to say, any way you look at it, if
you can't win.
If it's a physical altercation, you're losing.
If it's a legal
argument.
This is my only win. So that is a trophy.
So yeah, we'll come back and we'll get into this stuff on a later video, but already been a long video. Guys, I'm got to do an intro and an outro for this when I get back to the house. So I will see you guys. Thank you very much, Matt. We'll do this again in the future.
Thank you for joining me.
It's always fun to hang out with you. Yeah. So, all right, let's start packing this stuff up and go get Korean wings.
Ooh.
All right, guys, I got home. Tino and I are going to go get some lunch for his wife and everything, and we're going to hang out at his place for a little bit, but I just wanted to film this outro. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's a long video, so I'm not going to take it any longer. You guys know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. The affiliate links down below, including the Amazon store. Use that for anything. Coupon code of crazysharp works at a bunch of places. Ferrum Forge Knife Works, KATSU Knives, and Rosecraft Blades. And I have my membership down below. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves. If you're in Florida or South Carolina or any of those areas that hit by the storm, my thoughts and prayers are with you, but I also did donate some money to some GoFundMes. So I love you guys. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.